It was afternoon and the school bell had just rung. Ring, 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 ring. And all the kids rushed out, all the children rushed out. Usually they would have dispersed and gone home in a flash for lunch, but that day it was unusual. There were people, they dispersed, and there were like pockets everywhere, and they were whispering among themselves. They had a new admission that day, and the boy was La Blanquet's son, Philip, and people said that he did not have a father. So that was unusual. They had heard about their mother speaking in a kind of contempt about La Blanquet, and that kind of stuck on to them, and they were curious to hound Philip. So when Philip came, everybody stood around him. Now Philip was a boy of about 7 or 8 years old, very neat, very tidy, but a little awkward and timid. He stood there shivering in fear. This was the first time people had hounded him. There were so many people around him. There was one boy who said, "Philip, who is your daddy? Who is your father?" And Philip didn't have an answer. He looked at the ground and he didn't know what to say. And finally he burst out, "I have a father." And then somebody else in the crowd asked, "So tell me your father's name." And Philip couldn't think of an answer. And somebody else started crying out, "Philip has no papa, Philip has no papa." And Philip didn't know what to do. And everybody else started picking on him. So what Philip did was, he grabbed hold of the boy who was nearest to him. He caught hold of his hair and started beating him to pulp. And then the rest of the boys, they just pounced on Philip and beat him black and blue. And then finally, when it was all over, Philip couldn't take it anymore. He burst out crying, and all the boys, they started clapping in glee. They were happy. They were as happy as a wild animal would be after feasting on a prey. And then finally what Philip did, he saw a few stones lying down. He picked them all up and he started hurling it at all those boys around them. And those boys just fled. They fled in terror. And then Philip was like, he was really tired and he was sad. So he just fled into the fields, nearby fields. And then he remembered an incident. 8 days ago, a beggar who had no money threw himself into the river. And when they fished him out, when the neighboring people fished that beggar out, they said that the beggar had a sense of calm in him. And even Philip was around. When he saw the beggar, he felt that his eyes had a kind of peace, a kind of calmness. And then somebody in the crowd remarked that the beggar is finally happy. So Philip also wanted to do the same. He wanted to drown himself so that he could be peaceful, so that he could be happy. So he went near the river. He saw a lot of little fish, different colored fish. So being a little child, he started looking at the fish and he was very happy. And then he saw butterflies flying, different colors, yellow, blue, red. So he started chasing those butterflies. And then he saw a little frog jumping. And Philip started chasing the frog. And then he caught it with both his hands. The frog, with all its might, just jumped out and ran away, leapt away. And then Philip, he suddenly realized why he was here. He realized, I'm here because I don't have a daddy, I don't have a father. I'm not here to play with the butterflies or with the frog. I'm here to drown myself. And then he knelt down as if he was going to tell his prayers before going to sleep. He knelt down, and in the midst of his prayers, he was overcome with his sobs and overcome with his tears. He closed his eyes and burst out crying. And then suddenly he felt a hand on his shoulders. He looked up and saw a tall man, a tall, muscular, bearded man. And the man introduced himself as Simon. He asked Philip, "What is plaguing my little boy over here? Why are you crying?" So the boy said, "I don't have a father." And then this man, he thought he realized this was La Blanquet's son. And everybody, La Blanquet was the talk of the town. And everybody knew that this was an illegitimate child of La Blanquet. And everybody also knew that La Blanquet was one of the prettiest women in the town. So he thought that maybe when he went to if he goes to drop Philip, maybe a woman who has erred once would probably err again. So he was also, in a corner of his heart, he was excited about dropping Philip back safely back home. So he told Philip, "Don't cry, don't worry, I'll get you home and we'll find you a papa. We will find you a father." And he lifted Philip in his arms. he took him back home, and there stood La Blanquette on the threshold of her house. She stood as if she will not let any man inside. When he saw the firm, stoic face of La Blanquette, he realized there was no more fooling around to be done with this woman. So he told this lady, "Look, ma'am, I have brought your son back, safely back to you. He was lost in the fields." And then Philip, he hugged his mother and said, "Mom, I was not lost. I went to drown myself because I have no papa." And La Blanquette's face was filled with shame. Her face turned red. She did not know what to do. She hugged her child and sobbed. And then in the midst of the sob, Philip just ran to Simon and said, "Simon, will you be my papa?" And Simon thought this was some kind of joke or some kind of jest, and he said, "Of course, son, I will be your papa." So the next day, Philip goes back to school, and he tells all the children that I have a father, and his name is Simon. So people started saying, "Philip, Simon what? There must be another name attached to it." But this little guy was very stoic in his resolve. He said, "My father's name is Simon, and that is it." And luckily he was saved by the schoolmaster. The schoolmaster just came in, so the boys dispersed. And the friendship with Simon continued. The next 2 months, next 3 months, the friendship grew very strong. And then one fine day, there was a boy who again started picking on Philip. He said, "Philip, you don't have a father." But Philip said, "No, of course I have a father, and his name is Simon." And that boy said, "Very well, that may be the case, but that's not being a father altogether, because if he was your father, he would be your mother's husband. So, is he your mother's husband?" And this little boy, Philip, he was thoroughly confused. He was perplexed. He did not know. So he ran to see Simon. Now Simon was a blacksmith. He was working with a group of men. He had a hammer and he was pounding the iron, red hot iron. He was pounding it. And then Philip went there and he asked Simon, "Simon, people at school are telling me that you are not my mother's husband. So does that mean you're not my papa?" Everybody around him stood in silence. The other men, they did not speak a word. And then Simon took a minute and then he said, "Tell your mother that I'll come and see her in the evening." That evening, late into the evening, Simon comes to see La Blanquette. Now La Blanquette says, "Simon, this is not a good time to come. People around me are already gossiping about us. I do not want any more gossip about me." And then Simon says, "How does it matter to me if you are my wife?" And then there was Philip sleeping in the bedroom. He thought he heard someone fall and he distinguished the sound of a kiss. And then suddenly Philip thought that he was being lifted by arms, Herculean arms. And when he opened his eyes and saw, it was none other than Simon. And Simon said that, "Philip, tomorrow you please go to your school and tell everybody that your father's name is Philip Remy and he has promised to box everyone's ears who teases you." So the next day, our little Philip goes to school and he says that my father's name, my papa's name is Philip Remy and he has promised to box everyone's ears who teases me. And then there was complete silence in the class because everybody knew who was Philip Remy, how strong Philip Remy was, and Philip Remy was a father anybody would be proud of.